Mother.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
So, in recent news, Adam Wingard, the director behind both of the most recent monsterverse films, unfortunately won't be returning for the next installment, having moved on to other projects with A24. In his place, Legendary decided to hire Australian director Grant Sputore, a filmmaker who doesn't really have a lengthy catalogue of prior work, which isn't a bad thing, mind you. I mean, the other directors didn't have insane libraries of films either. It just means that it will be a lot more difficult to gauge the level of quality we can expect from the next movie, and what kind of tone and atmosphere it will take on. The most notable film directed by Grant is undoubtedly the 2019 Netflix exclusive I Am Mother, a sci-fi thriller set after a worldwide extinction event wherein a young girl is raised by a robot. If the premise sounds promising to you, then I'm happy to report that the film delivers in full. I've been a fan of this movie ever since one of my lecturers recommended it during class around the time it came out. One of the scant few good things in college, but I digress. Point is, it's a highly rewatchable, severely underrated, and most importantly, bloody amazing film. I say highly rewatchable because there are tons of small details as well as underlying subtext that you could read into. Stuff that might be overlooked on a first watch. It's one of those films where you gather something new that you didn't notice before on almost every single viewing. The most obvious themes in the movie are, of course, motherhood, because, I mean, duh, it's literally in the name, alongside the potential applications and consequences of advanced artificial intelligence. But in my opinion, the primary theme which permeates almost every single aspect of the film, both semiotically and technically, is the art of deception. The characters are constantly lying and misleading each other, and to a much larger extent, the movie itself is constantly manipulating the audience too. Throughout the near 2-hour running time, we are constantly made to question whether we can take what we see on screen at face value, or trust it in any way possible. As the film progresses, we consistently learn new information that paints prior scenes in a different and, to be honest, disturbing light. This is how the film, in my opinion at least, successfully engages the audience. By making us question and doubt everything we see, the audience is encouraged to be on high alert when absorbing any information the characters or the film itself provides. Hence why I think it's the greatest strength of the movie. So without further ado, let's jump right into I Am Mother's masterclass in deceiving the audience. Lego. The film opens on a long shot of an ominous looking dark corridor, which we are told is a human repopulation facility. The apocalypse is literally happening right outside this shelter, and shortly thereafter we track towards an empty robot husk. A lifeless body which is then activated, immediately retrieving a human embryo to begin the process of parenthood. This is then followed by an admittedly heartwarming and wholesome 8.5-minute montage depicting the growing bond between mother and daughter. We see the robot, whom is simply called Mother, cuddling her daughter named Daughter. That's her name, so let's just roll with it. Cuddling her daughter as a baby, all the way to teaching arts and crafts, and having intimate familial conversations with each other. The once ominous cold facility we were introduced to at the start of the film has already transformed into a muted, yet welcoming and warm environment thanks to these two just going about their lives as a family. We then cut to present day where daughter is now a fully grown teenager. A bloody capable one too, fixing up mother's hand, taking high level exams, and so on and so forth. Anyways, before we proceed further, I should state that the movie has already deceived you. In fact, it was in one of the clips I just displayed. Did you notice anything odd about them? Well, let me just rewind a sec. Okay, ominous corridor during extinction event, yeah, heartwarming family montage, yeah, time jump towards present day. 13,867 days after the extinction event. Okay. Well, let's probe that number, why don't we? The daughter's actual age is never revealed to us, but judging from how Mother dotes on her and the fact that the dining room is covered in all sorts of pretty origami figures, we can safely assume that she's around teenage to very young adult. The actor who plays her, Clara Wingard, was 22 years old when she did the role, so for argument's sake, let's say daughter is 22. There are 365 days in a year, so 365 times 22 equals 8,030. That's nowhere near 13,000. What am I getting at exactly? Well, if this brief text is to be believed, which it should be as its non-biased source of information for the audience's convenience, that would make daughter on the day of her birthday around 37 to 38 years old. In other words, a grown-ass woman. Why, that's a blatant contradiction. Daughter is supposed to be a young adolescent woman, yet the movie clearly states that 13,867 days have passed since the extinction event. Even if you subtract the time she spent as an embryo, she'd still be an adult. Why would the movie lie about that number, and be so specific about it too? I mean, we clearly saw her growing up from infancy to childhood. Where did all those years go? What the hell is going on? Hopefully we'll find out later in the movie. This minute detail comes and goes in seconds. I wouldn't blame the audience for overlooking it. Hell, I've seen this film twice now and didn't acknowledge it during both viewings, only taking notice while skimming through the movie for this video. It's a blink and you'll miss it moment, but it speaks volumes about the film's insane level of attention to detail. Every choice made is no accident, all of it done for a specific reason, which is the mark of a movie made with passion and crafted with care. The fact that there's trickery afoot this early on is a sign of things to come. Even after constantly testing her daughter, Mother still insists on one hugely important detail: never go outside. According to her, the extinction event was caused by a viral infection which wiped out humanity. Her calculations state that it may still be contaminated outside, so she isn't willing to take the risk with daughter. At one point throwing a rat into the incinerator out of concern that it may carry the virus. That's how you know she ain't screwing around. But of course, like most young people, curiosity gets the better of her. Daughter just can't shake the allure of exploring the outdoors, and during one night she hears banging accompanied by a human voice coming from outside the shelter. It turns out they haven't gone completely extinct. Daughter lets this person in, who turns out to have a severe bullet wound needing medical attention ASAP. Now before I forget, I'd also like to talk about how the movie manipulates the audience perception of characters, events and locations on a technical level, which can be seen clearly with the drop-dead gorgeous cinematography. This film was made on a smaller budget and shot mainly in one studio, but man is it used to great effect. Whenever we get more intimate moments between mother and daughter, we get constant close-ups with the two of them in focus, emphasising their close bond and making the audience feel more comfortable by getting a close peek at what should be private family time. In contrast, during scenes where they're at odds, or there's something deeper at play, we get long shots. The camera is placed at a noticeable distance away from them, invoking a cold sense of wariness. This dichotomy in shots indicates that their relationship is more complex than what the montage let on. It also subtly suggests that there's more to certain scenes than what we're led to believe. Take for instance the scene during the montage where daughter and mother are looking at the embryos, discussing the potential for a much larger family. It should be a happy moment, but it's shot from a distance, and even close up they're never in the same shot. Oh boy, I wonder if that'll be relevant at all later on in the movie. Another element that highlights the layer of deception in I Am Mother is the film's use of colour theory. The facility is almost entirely made up of muted white and grey, so whenever we see any striking colours, it's more noticeable than usual. But our perception of said colours is constantly changing with every scene. For example, again during the montage, we see mother comforting daughter as a baby with a bright warm yellow glow. Later on though, when daughter opens the facility doors, the whole shelter starts flashing yellow as mother sprints towards her. Yellow has now gone from a source of warmth and comfort to signalling caution, making the audience on edge. Our view of that colour has changed, which, spoilers, will be relevant later on when we see it used again in that same paternal way from the montage. Only now we see that act in a much different light at the end of the movie compared to the start. Daughter wears dark red throughout the majority of the movie, which could symbolise a lot of things. Personally, I've always thought it showed danger, both that she's in danger and that she herself is a source of danger. Can't really say more than that right now, but it should become apparent why as the video goes on. Going back to the scene where daughter lets in a stranger from outside, this is where we're introduced to the third character of the film, Woman. An outsider who is initially very closed off and cautious around mother and daughter. Especially mother, who she supposedly saw countless of outside the facility, even being shot by one of them. How does mother respond to this damning information? Well, she's just as shocked and confused as daughter is. Whoa, what? I had no idea there was no contamination outside. My calculations must have been incorrect somehow. And there are more robots like me? That's crazy. By the way, you still aren't allowed to go outside, and if you do, there will be dire consequences. Just saying. From this point forward, the real battle begins. Mother and woman are constantly at odds with each other in order to gain daughter's trust and approval. By now, the audience is definitely on the side of woman here, with how suspicious mother is acting. But it's not really that simple. Mother is the only person daughter has ever known and loved. She's taken tremendous care for her over the years, so it's not exactly an easy choice leaving that all behind. That and the amazing voice acting by Rose Byrne makes her an inherently comforting figure.
Something's troubling you. You know you can talk to me, daughter. About anything.
Like, damn. Even I'm damn near tempted to get on my knees and start calling her mommy. And you damn well know what I mean, get your mind out the gutter. Plus, it's not made any easier with the consistent trash talk mother and woman do behind each other's backs whenever they converse with daughter. Like I said earlier, woman claims that she was shot by a droid who looks just like mother. However, mother refuses later, explaining to daughter that the bullet taken from woman's wound and the ammo from the gun are an exact match, which means she was shot with the gun she was using to protect herself, thus making her a liar. At this point, we don't know who to believe. Woman has been very distrusting and closed off, but mother has also been acting pretty sus lately. We know something is up with her, but we instinctively want to trust what she's saying because she's been a source of comfort throughout the movie. Which makes it all the more heart-wrenching when daughter investigates for herself, finding that the bullets actually don't match, making mother a blatant liar herself. It's actually this part of the movie where the huge twist takes place. A vital piece of information is revealed to both daughter and the audience that recontextualizes the whole movie. So, think about everything we've learned so far. Okay, at the start of the movie we see that mother retrieves an embryo shortly after the extinction event. After the montage we cut to present day where it's revealed that over 13,000 days have passed since humanity's supposed extinction. However, that doesn't line up with daughter's current appearance, as we've already determined that she's not 38 years old. Daughter still looks and is treated like a young adolescent woman. But that's not all. Mother has been obsessed with testing daughter with constant exams, asking questions not just regarding knowledge but also mental state and moral conundrums. She's clearly being prepared for something, but what? Of course, she's been prepared to be a mother herself. That would also explain why mother chose a female embryo. A perfect human could raise children far better than a robot could ever dream of. At the same time, unlike robots, humans aren't perfect. If it's taken mother nearly 40 years to raise a perfect replacement, then that would suggest mother didn't get it right the first time. And if all of that is true, then that can only mean one thing for our protagonist. After using one of Mother's broken hands to discover the bullets, daughter then uses it to gain access to her hidden files, where she discovers failed test results that aren't hers. This shocking find is made horrifying when daughter discovers multiple missing embryos, their remains still intact, in the incinerator. Jesus Christ. I mean, this is the big twist of the movie, and man, is it impactful. Even when you know it's coming, it still shocks you to the core because it completely changes the context of every scene we've witnessed so far. Remember that heartwarming and wholesome opening montage? Well, the young girl you saw was literally aborted and thrown into a furnace for not being perfect enough. The loving mother we got shown throughout the movie has been nothing but a lie. A facade simulating the human act of love in an attempt to achieve its ultimate mission. The situation only gets worse as mother finally decides to start raising a male embryo. Daughter, now knowing that she's an evil piece of shit, plans to run away from the facility with woman and her new brother, to a place where other humans are gathered so they can stay safe from the rest of the droids. Things go south though as she's unable to bring her brother upon escaping. Not a very happy ending, but hey, at least she's safe and, you know, she has a new home with new people she can meet up with. Oh wait. It turns out there aren't any other people. And woman was just lying so she could get home to a shipping container. Great. Great, I love it. Now you see why I said deception was the core theme in the movie. All three characters in I Am Mother are liars, for different reasons. Mother wanting to uphold her mission of raising the perfect human replacement, and woman who's looking out exclusively for herself. However, daughter's lies are done in service of finding answers. They're also the only lies that we, the audience, are actually in on the whole way through, as the film is from her perspective. She's the victim of the other two's tall tales, which are played off as truths when we first hear them. By the end of the movie, the only character we can actually root for is daughter, being the only person with non-selfish principles. This also highlights the most obvious underlying theme in the movie, which is the relationship between mothers and daughters. Woman got home like she wanted. However, daughter is not satisfied with the outcome of her escape, to say the least, deciding to go back to the facility in order to save her brother, leaving woman alone once more. Well, alongside her little doggo, I guess. This is where we see daughter leave the nest, so to speak, becoming fully independent without relying on neither woman nor mother's aid and counsel. She makes her way back home, and this is where we see the colour yellow pop up again, being used to comfort the baby like in the opening of the movie. Only of course this time, like I said earlier, it's far more sinister thanks to what we have learned about Mother's true intentions. Mother reveals all, explaining to daughter that she was created to advance humankind, and the only way she could conceive of doing so was by wiping it out and starting anew, raising a breed of perfect humans with perfect morals so there would be no conflict to speak of. Daughter takes her brother away from Mother, locking the door, to which she summons her drones to break in through the front door, putting an end to daughter's rebellion. However, daughter manages to convince Mother that she's ready to raise children on her own without her help. Mother stops the machines, says goodbye to daughter, and leaves the embryos in her hands, whilst killing off woman to stop her potential influence in the future. Cue the credits. That's pretty much I Am Mother, a film caked in lies, manipulation and deception that both daughter and the audience are susceptible to, which is what I think makes it so damn good. We are used to taking what we see at face value in film, but here comes this movie where you are actively punished for doing so. There's always an ulterior motive, a deeper plot at play, which makes us sympathise with daughter that much more, seeing how she slowly unravels all the BS while we're along for the ride. Mother and woman are bloody amazing characters, because our perception of them is constantly changing. Combine that with some attention to detail both on a technical and narrative scale, and you've got yourself an awesome and underrated sci-fi movie that is definitely worth checking out. It's a bloody crime this was never released theatrically, because more people need to be exposed to this film's non-stop act of deception. With that being said, that's all I have to say on this film. Like if you liked, dislike if you disliked, subscribe for more quality content, and I'll see you guys next time.
Have some more chicken. Have some more pie. Have some more chicken. Have some more pie. Have some more chicken. Have some more pie. It doesn't matter if it's boiled or fried. Have some more chicken. Have some more pie. Have some more chicken. Have some more pie. Have some more chicken. Have some more pie. It doesn't matter if it's boiled or fried.